Welcome back to the Shy City Boys podcast. As with me always is Jack Thiel. I'm Carl Liza. Jack, you went to the Cubs Sox game today at Wrigley. First time at Wrigley without me. How was it?
Well, the weather was absolutely terrible. I mean, it was brutal out there.
It was bad all
The
day.
stadium is still in terrible condition, like usual. Um,
No slander.
you
No.
know, just really hope they would make renovations. I just think there's a lot of things they can improve on, but overall, it was a fun game. The White Sox fans took over Wrigley Field. The White Sox took over Wrigley Field as a whole. Not surprised. South side always rules the north side. And yeah,
Where'd you sit?
the 200 level.
Oh,
I think it was like 229, 230, something like that.
no,
But
third baseline?
first base. Did you say first or third?
Third.
No, that's first base.
Oh, first base. Okay.
It was still terrible. I mean, there was like a mist of rain coming in my face. I probably just took the warmest shower of my life, like
Oh wow.
about 40 minutes ago. So I mean, overall,
Well,
it was a good time.
well, since you went to that game, let's start off by talking about that. Let's talk about the game that just ended a couple hours ago. So, as you said, the Sox won 3-1. Um, Tim Anderson hit a home run.
Of course,
Berger reached on an infield single, which scored Abreu, and then McGuire sacrificed the first to have Engel score. And then for the that was the 3 runs for the Sox. And then the Cubs, Nico Horner doubled to third, Hap scored, and that was the only run for the Cubs. Being there live, was there anything that you saw that should be shouted out?
in terms of like what?
Um, like, like anything drastic happen that maybe the TV audience didn't see?
There was a fight in the outfield
I did hear about that. I did hear.
Between two Cubs fans.
Oh wow,
Yeah, that was in the bleachers. I saw some haymakers being thrown.
disrespectful.
There were a couple beer snakes, a couple of them, about two of them I think I saw. Not
That's good.
bad.
Yeah.
I think another thing would be that Michael Kopech looked amazing out there. He was just on all cylinders. It was funny because the broadcast caught a video of him like when he was taken out,
Yeah.
throwing his mitt against a wall and like punching. Like,
I mean, yeah, he only pitched 4 innings.
but he threw 4 shutout innings, like 2 hits only and six
4 hits.
strikeouts.
Four
My
hits,
apologies.
2 bases,
But
2 base on balls, and then
but
5 Ks.
for a guy who has like a 117 ERA, get mad about throwing a shutout performance. I mean, it was kind of funny, but he looked amazing. The bullpen looked great. Jose Ruiz, he worried me a little bit, but good to see Matt Foster get in there. I was shocked because I thought Kendall Graveman was going to be put in, but they didn't. And then Liam did his thing. He's looked back to normal ever since. I mean, it's only been 2 opportunities, but ever since that injury against the Twins, it seems like things are kind of clicking for him, which just kind of happened around the same time last season. And I mean, for the Cubs, I guess would just be like, I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing really going for them right now. I mean, Sejas and his struggles. I mean, I think we all knew this was going to happen just because this is what happens for rookies. I mean, they had no Wilson Contreras in the lineup. The Sox didn't have Robert, Eloy. Moncada's obviously not there. So, I mean, both teams are missing some key players, but I think you can see the Cubs just, I mean, they've got decent players, but they're just not at that level yet. And for the Sox, I mean, this is a good win for them. I mean, I know the Cubs aren't good, but like this, I mean, we got to remember this is a Sox team that is struggling. I think they're 10-13 now. Yeah, 10-13.
Mm-hmm.
And today was a crappy day, but I do have a song to play, Carl.
Oh
If
my
I may
God.
play it, is that okay?
As long as the video doesn't get taken down for it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it's that serious, but I just want to play this. So if we can all just serenade ourselves with this song and listen, I would appreciate that.
Turn this blasphemy off. No, turn this off. I don't want to hear it. Wow, I was actually gonna say something nice about the Sox, but I'm not gonna say it anymore.
Hey,
So
at the end of the day, it's a crosstown rivalry. The Sox own it now, and tomorrow night they've got their ace on the mound.
okay, yeah, I was just about to say that. Both there's gonna be one more game between them right now. It's gonna be again at Wrigley Field, so
Or
come
Sox
out
Park,
strong,
basically.
Cubs.
Or Sox Park, basically. I mean,
No, settle
if
down.
you saw the attendance live.
Go back.
But we need to
Okay.
talk about a more serious issue.
What's that?
Why is this Crosstown Classic being played in May? Especially,
It used to be right before the All-Star break.
especially though the beginning of May.
I don't know.
The series should be played in the summer, once before the trade deadline and once after the trade deadline, because
that's how it was when American League didn't play National League all year round.
It's just like, I don't get it. It's, Chicago weather is never that nice, especially it was 30s and rain and wind and May. Come on, like when you go to Cubs and Sox games, you want it to be that summer day, that summer night, So we need to fix that. We need to put this back in the summer, get out of the spring weather.
Yeah, as you're talking about that, let's move on to the NBA playoffs. So yesterday started round 2. We had the Miami Heat beat the 76ers 106-92, but it was without Joel Embiid. And I know game 2 is going to be played without Joel. So let's talk about for a series whole. What do you see that series coming out to?
Well, I mean, I think like for me, it comes down to Joel Embiid, obviously, because James Harden obviously hasn't shown he's gonna take over, and I don't think Tyrese Maxey is really in that position to be the leader of the team.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, the Miami Heat are the most physical, well-coached, well-balanced, deepest team in the playoffs right now.
Tyler Hero just won 6th Man of the Year today.
Basically stole what I was about to say, Carl. But yeah, I mean, he's off the bench with 25 points. I'm pretty sure Victor Oladipo comes off the bench.
Yeah.
They're a strong team. And I think one thing is that Eric Spoelstra does succeed in the playoffs, even if it doesn't mean a finals every year. I mean, I know the bubble is kind of a fake championship in my opinion, but I mean, it took that team that was filled with rookies to the finals. So
yeah,
even with Joel, I would probably still take the Heat, but obviously without Joel, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm gonna also go with Miami. Basically, just say what you said. Let's move on to the second game from yesterday. Dallas at Phoenix. Phoenix won 121-114. It's a close game, and this Suns team is kind of beat up right now. But
they won.
I don't see it. I don't see Dallas winning the series. Maybe stealing a game or two, but I just see Phoenix cruising by.
I was excited for this matchup. I think with a guy like Luka Doncic, you're in every game. He's just a generational talent, and he showed that against the Jazz. And I think
Luka had 45.
That's what I'm saying, but the help isn't really there. I mean, yeah, he has Jalen Brunson. Maybe you want to throw in Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, whatever. But I mean, the Suns, I think for the Suns is that they are the only team with like a chip on their shoulder, because they were right there last year, and they were up 2-0 against the Bucks. Like, they had it in the bag.
Yeah.
And then they just completely fell apart. And, I think with the Suns before that, they were always known as this regular season team, kind of like what the Jazz are now. But last year, we finally saw the Suns put it all together and make a run. And I mean, you have Chris Paul, who's honestly playing the best basketball of his career, and DeAndre Ayton is playing some good basketball, especially with him becoming a free agent soon. And Devin Booker obviously wants that ring more than anything in the world. And I think for the Mavericks, that's too much for them. I think Luka can't do it all. I think if Luka needs another superstar around him, I probably would take the Mavericks. But Devin Booker, Chris Paul. I mean, it's not even just those three. You got Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, campaign. I mean, it's a deep team, and I mean,
It's
the
a
Suns
very,
are my pick to
very
make
deep
the
team.
finals. The Suns are my pick to make the finals.
Same here. So let's talk about the games that happened today. And my apologies, the second round didn't start yesterday, started the day before. But these teams that played today, that would be the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. Milwaukee took the first game, and today, Boston took this game, making Giannis not look good. Did you happen to catch any of this game at all?
No, but I will say I am shocked that the Celtics won. No Marcus
I'm
Smart.
not.
No Marcus Smart. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that they would be doomed. I thought Drew Holiday would go off, but at the end of the day, got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to carry you guys, and they did a really good job. Giannis probably had one of his worst playoff games
Yeah.
this year, even though he had 28 points. But I mean, you look on the Celtics side, Brown did his thing, Tatum did his thing, Grant Williams, who I'm very shocked did really good. So this is a series that's going to go 7 games. Both of these teams are very even. They're very even. It can go either way. I think the Celtics will win the series. I just think they're the better team. I think they're more deep and more loaded, and I think we saw that tonight. But this is one of the best series in the whole NBA playoffs we're gonna ever have. So
Yeah.
I think that it's a great matchup that can go both ways, because obviously we're seeing that because Marcus Smart plays game 1, Bucks win. Marcus Smart doesn't play game 2, Celtics win. So I think this is a series that it's gonna be who wants it more. It's gonna be who's gonna win those 50-50 battles, who's gonna go for the offensive rebound, who's gonna win the second chance points. So I am very excited for this one, but I got to go with the Celtics.
I'm gonna also go with the Celtics.
Why?
I just think they're more well-rounded compared to Milwaukee, but you can never count Giannis out.
Yeah, can't.
So we'll just have to wait and see. Second game that just ended. Warriors won the first game. Memphis won the second game today, just now. 106-101. Jack, I know you were watching this game, kind of. What are your thoughts?
I mean, first of all, I think this is another great series. I think both teams are very even. Both teams kind of have a small ball lineup because Steven Adams is out. He's not even playing because he's hurt. So both of these teams are starting centers are like 6'8". So already that's interesting because that's kind of like it's no traditional big man, but
a lot of small ball.
Grizzlies were this team. The Grizzlies came in as this big question mark. Like, what are they going to do? This is kind of their first time they've really been in the spotlight. Guys like John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson. And then they played Minnesota, and Minnesota, you could arguably say, should have won that series. And here they are. Now they have to face the Warriors, guys like Curry, Clay, Draymond, and here comes Jordan Poole. But, the biggest thing that worried me about the Warriors was that their inconsistency. Clay is not consistent as like he was. Jordan Poole's not the consistent player he was. Curry, he does Curry things. But Draymond obviously doesn't score, and Draymond just can't stay out of trouble. But I look on the Grizzlies side, they play with probably the most energy in the playoffs.
And the most selfish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they have Desmond Bane, who's one of the best shooters. Desmond Bane's one of the best shooters in the league, but people are going to talk about Jordan Poole more than him. So, I think this is a great series, and I thought it was interesting because Curry said, the Grizzlies are like what the Warriors were when they began their dynasty. And I can see that. And my worries were that is this moment too big for the Grizzlies? Are they not ready for this? But
Might be. I don't know. But not after this game.
I do think the Grizzlies will win this series, though.
Really?
I do, yeah. I think
Wow.
this is a great team, and I think that John Morant is John Morant, and there's not really a guy to guard John Morant on the Warriors. What are you going to put Draymond on him? But you know what? They have Jaren Jackson, 6'11" power forward. They have Desmond Bane, who can stroke the ball, who's actually been very cold. So the fact that they've been in both of these games, and they could have won both, but they won one of them. For Desmond Bane not to have a good game, I think that shows you like this team's built. Dylan Brooks is another guy people aren't talking about. So I do take the Grizzlies. I think that John Morant can carry this team. I just don't. I think it goes to, it's like an offensive battle, but you got to remember the Grizzlies have a great defense. They're like one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, and their Warriors are not a great defensive team. Curry can't guard. Clay can kind of guard, but Andrew Wiggins, no defense. Jordan Poole, no defense. So I kind of look at it like it's going to come down to the wire. Who's going to make those stops? Who's going to make the steals? And we saw tonight, Klay Thompson, they're down by 3 or 4, I believe, and he travels. So I'm going to go Grizzlies in 6. I think that they'll definitely maybe steal one in wherever they play, San Francisco. But yeah, I got the Grizzlies on this one. I think Ja's going to shine, and he has so far, obviously.
They are going back. They are going to San Francisco the next game. So basically that's it for that segment.
Well, who do you have, Carl? You didn't.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. This is a tough one, honestly. I know you took Memphis, and I think we've agreed on all of them. So just to be a little different,
just despise me.
just to be a little different, I'm gonna take the Warriors. Just so spices up those little things. I don't think I can go wrong with either one. So yeah.
Right. I'll remember this. I'll remember this conversation between us.
Okay. So let's move on to the big storyline that happened this week, the NFL draft. And let's start off with the Bears. And then we'll talk about the whole draft afterwards.
Oh, why don't we go to the Bears last? We'll grand finale.
Okay.
We're gonna really do a deep dive in the Bears draft. So let's do it the whole NFL right now.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not gonna go over every single pick. Just gonna go over the surprising picks.
I think in the first round. This is what we should do. Okay, so for people that don't know, Javon Walker was the number 1 pick. And Hutchinson went number 2 to Detroit. Kenny Pickett was the first quarterback taken. Breece Hall was the first running back taken. The first receiver was Drake London, right? Or was it
Drake London at 8?
So Drake London was your first receiver. Now what we're gonna do is the 3 biggest, best value picks in the first round and the 3 worst value picks in the first round.
Okay.
We'll start with the best value at number 3.
The best value?
At number 3. We'll go
at number 3. We gotta rate them.
Yeah. That's the fun in this game.
Okay. Okay. So I think my third best one is probably Evan Neal at 7.
Okay.
I think he could have gone number 1.
You did think that.
In my mock draft, the last one, I had Evan Neal going 1.
You did.
Yeah, so how about you? Number 3.
This is tough. I've gone back and I've thought about this because it's it's interesting to think about it like this because we obviously don't know how these guys are gonna perform. And I think my number 3, this is tough because I've thought about this, but I think this is tough. I think number 3 will be Tyler Linderbaum. The Ravens took him at number 25, the center out of Iowa. I think
Mhm.
that this guy is a great center. I had him in my might have had him in my top 15. I'm not 100% sure.
Mhm.
But Lamar is going to need protection.
Yeah.
And for him to fall all the way to 25, I thought that's just a great selection by the Ravens organization.
Yeah. At one point I was thinking that he was going to slip to the second round.
That would have been highway robbery.
Yeah. So my second value pick is probably going to be George Karlaftis going at
Oh, yeah.
30 to Kansas City. I expected him to go before the 20, not be in the 20s, but he ended up being in the 30s. I think Kansas City got a steal with him there. He's going to be a great pass rusher for years to come, in my opinion, in Kansas City. So we'll have to see.
So my number 2 is actually in the third round.
Oh, okay.
Nakobe Dean
Oh, yeah.
goes to the
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, the 83rd pick.
Yep.
Nakobe Dean, I get it. He's coming off an injury, and I'm not saying that, but he literally won the Buckus Award for the best linebacker in college football.
Mm-hmm.
He was a key part in Georgia winning the national championship. And I'm pretty sure this guy was in my top 15. He might have been, he was up there. I know that. But I don't know. Not even anyone in the second round took this guy. I mean, that was crazy. So I know he's the first round, but that guy, I can't believe he fell to the third round. That's my number
Yeah.
2 value pick.
I think we're both gonna have the same number one
Yeah,
value
I,
pick.
I
I
figured.
feel like it's gonna be uh so mine is obviously gonna be Kyle Hamilton falling all the way to what, 14, where we both had him going top three.
I mean, I didn't have
He,
him top 3.
oh, I had him number 3 in my mock draft, but he's fallen to 14. Just like you said with Lindenbaum going to the Baltimore, Kyle Hamilton going to Baltimore, that defense was already scary, but now it's even more, man. I don't know what to say. People are saying like I was too high on him. No, people are too low on him. I think he's going to be a game changer in Baltimore.
Yeah, screw those other 13 teams for, I mean, not the other 13, maybe like 8, because I didn't think he was going that high. But that made absolutely no sense how he fell to number 14. I mean, yes, he got hurt, but it was an injury that occurred in the middle of the year, and he was fully healthy for the combine and everything. I
Mhm.
I get it. Like, don't get me wrong, the safety market isn't like that high, but this guy isn't. This guy's a generational talent. This dude is like 6'4", I believe, and you the fall to 14. What are you doing? Like, this guy is a top 10 pick. He's the best athlete in the draft, and you let him fall to 14. I, you know, yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it. So
I
I
don't
hope he
understand.
makes some pay. But congrats to Kyle Hamilton though. But yeah, I really can't believe he fell. That was terrible.
Yeah. So, Jack, how about your 3 not value picks?
Yeah, this is kind of where the nitty gritty comes in.
I already have my 3.
Interesting. That was pretty fast of you. Um, number 3 at number 16, Jahan Dotson goes to the Washington Commanders.
That was my 3rd. Yeah.
I
What?
won't
Why?
I won't go too long, Carl, but what I will say is that there are better receivers out there. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe Traylon Burks was still out there. Um, who else? I'm looking at the list.
Everyone not named. Oh, there were already 4 off the board, but
Yeah.
Traylon
Traylon
Burks was still out there.
even
Uh,
Sky Moore and Christian Watson I had over Jahan Dotson.
yeah,
So I mean he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but I just thought there were some better options there.
yeah. So my third was Jahan Dotson. So
Ah,
I'll go to my second. Cole Strange out of Chattanooga going to the Patriots. Come on, what are you doing? You could have got him in a later round. Maybe get another wide receiver for your quarterback. Yeah.
my number two is Kenny Pickett.
Oh wow.
Um, Kenny Pickett wasn't the best quarterback in this draft. He wasn't the second best. He wasn't even the third best quarterback in this draft, in my opinion.
Mm.
Malik Willis easily was the best quarterback in this draft. And I get it. The Steelers have Mitch Trubisky. They're not really feeling confident, probably. And I get it. Like, he's the homeboy, played for the Pitt Panthers, whatever they're called. Come on. Malik Willis, you're gonna pass on that dude.
I actually like that pick,
Uh-huh.
honestly. I had it in my mock. I had it in my
I
mock.
had it in my mock too, but that was after Malik Willis was
one.
taken.
Yeah.
That's why I don't value it, because Willis was still on the board.
Yeah.
But congratulations to the Titans. They made a smart move.
Yeah, that's true. So my number one is
I feel like
Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say this.
Yeah. He should not Jacksonville's gonna Jacksonville. And guess what? They Jacksonville that pick. Why would you take Trayvon Walker there? I guarantee if you put another team there, they don't take him. I feel like this is gonna be what just Jadeveon Clowney pick, where he's gonna be injured. I'm not predicting an injury, but I feel like he might not produce, do nothing, waste of a pick. Do I agree he should have gone in the first round? Yes. But not number one.
Well, my number one is Cole Strange. It was really a strange pick. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I'm glad the Rams made fun of them for making this pick.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why Cole Strange. George Kalaftis was there. Even guys like
Karlaftis,
Jackson Hill. They could have gotten a receiver for Mac Jones.
Exactly.
They could have gotten a running back. They could have got so much more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Bill Belichick has the eye for talent, though. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my number one devalue of a pick.
So let's now talk about the Chicago Bears picks. They made a lot of trades to go from there.
They did more than we thought.
They did a lot. They didn't do what we thought they were gonna do, but they did a lot. So I'm gonna name off the picks, and then we'll talk about them once I'm completely done talking about them. Okay?
You go do that.
Okay. So at the first pick for us at pick 39 was Kyler Gordon out of a cornerback out of Washington. Number 48 was Jaquan Brisker, safety out of Penn State. Vernus Jones Jr., round 3, wide receiver, Tennessee. Number 168 from Buffalo, or trade with Buffalo, Braxton Jones out of Southern Utah. Pick number 174, another trade with Cincinnati, Dominique Robinson, linebacker out of Miami. 186, Zachary Thomas, offensive lineman, San Diego State. 203, a trade with Buffalo, Treston Ebner, running back, Baylor. And this pick 207 from Houston via San Fran via the Jets. Doug Kramer, center out of Illinois. 226 from Cincinnati via Green Bay. Ja'Tyre Carter, guard, Southern. 254 from the Chargers. Elijah Hicks, safety out of California. And finally, 255 from the Chargers, Trenton Gill, punter, North Carolina State. So, Jack, out of all those picks, what was your favorite? And which one surprised you the most?
I would say that's a good question, actually. I'd say probably my favorite's Kyler Gordon. Look, I get it. Justin Fields does need help.
Yeah.
But so does our defense really bad. And Kyler Gordon was a projected first round talent. A lot of people have him going in the first round. And I feel like that's just someone it's hard to pass on. Like,
Yeah.
because the Bears do, like, I'm sorry, but if I had to watch Kendall Vildor be the number 2, I'd chop my head off and not watch a Bears game. I mean, he's terrible. But he's tremendous. He's a freakishly athletic player. He's worked out with Richard Sherman. In 18 starts, he didn't allow a touchdown. This, he's going to have to mature, focus on his technique and all that, all that stuff that rookies need to do. But at the same time, this is a guy that can really be a big name for the Bears. And I think, give it some time, him and Jalen Johnson could be a nice duo together. So
yeah,
I really like this pick by the Bears. I think like I said, I'm with every Bears fan. Justin Fields needs help receivers, but I think it doesn't matter if the Bears are giving up 40 games or 40 points a game.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a great pick. They went best available, and that's what you got to do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a guy you really want, and I think the Bears didn't really see a receiver they really wanted, or they're like, hey, no, we can wait a little bit. There's some better talent for us. They might think, hey, let's build defense through the draft, and then let's sign receivers that are already
established.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to hate on any of the receivers, but was there really a receiver this year that was going to help Justin Fields make a difference like that? Not in my opinion. Not like a Jamar Chase, not like a Justin Jefferson. No,
not one that was available.
And I think that's what Ryan Poles thought. He said, hey, there isn't really a receiver that I think that can be that guy for us.
Yeah.
And that's no hate at all. But that's just saying, okay, we have a lot of money coming up. And there's free agents coming up. And there's still free agents this year. We can get a guy who's supposed to be a first-round talent. We can get a guy who can really help us on the defensive side of things. So when free agency comes up, now we don't have to worry about that. So yeah. I get people hating on it because everyone wanted receivers. Everybody wanted O-linemen those first 2-round picks. But a guy like Kyler Gordon, it's hard to pass up, especially when the Bears really do need secondary. So I thought it was a great pick. I give them an A- for that pick.
I'm gonna go with Jaquan Brisker.
Yeah.
He is gonna become such a deadly weapon for us, getting mentored by Eddie Jackson, who was a 4th rounder a couple of years ago. I just see him as a weapon of mass destruction for us. He's going to be a ball hawk for us. People are going to be afraid to throw against us. Like with Jaquan Brisker out there, with Eddie Jackson, with Kyler Gordon, with Jalen Johnson. It might be a little early to say it, but this might be like a version of the Legion of Boom back in Seattle.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's a bold take.
Wow.
And back to your Kyler Gordon take, I can see the Bears having the best quarterback room in the league, maybe even after this upcoming year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's being very optimistic, but it could be realistic.
Okay.
And just to add, Ryan Poles drafted 4 offensive linemen in the later rounds.
Well, we can go on more about those picks, but I think we need to talk about the most interesting pick for the Bears. And that was wide receiver Velus Jones Jr. out of Tennessee. And I think why it's interesting is because is 25 already. B, David Bell was still available. And C,
Mhm.
not many guys had him on his radar, but what is important to realize, this guy did run a 4.31 40-yard dash. He is a very experienced returner, which the Bears do need. Jakeem Grant is not on the team.
Oh, he's not?
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
I
So
I thought he was.
he is basically a very good run after yards after catch receiver.
Hmm.
But
So expect a lot of screens, a lot of
it's interesting with
uh
this guy though, because a lot of people have mixed opinions on this guy.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
excited for him, honestly.
yeah. Let me hear what you gotta say about him, Carl.
I'm excited what we can see from him. People are comparing him to Debo Samuel already. Uh, and the Bears were one of the teams that were maybe in on Debo, but I don't see him getting deals. So this was their second best option in getting a Debo Samuel type player, and I think he can be big for us. I don't see him as being our number one.
So is he the
Maybe
number two? Right? Is he the number two right now?
maybe not even number two. I can see him
Okay.
as a slot guy, get open, uh, get the ball in his hands and do some magic, just like Jakeem Grant did last year after we traded for him. So he's got blistering speed. Maybe he can be like a Tyreek Hill, a little taller, but you never know. You
Yeah,
never know.
I think this is a guy who he has a lot of speed. He has good hands. He's very fast, obviously,
Hmm.
but it just comes to him putting it all together. He's 6 foot and 200 pounds. I believe he had like 13. I don't know. He had a lot of touchdowns, I believe. But a lot of people are comparing him to Debo Samuel. They're also saying he's probably he has a lot of value at that return position.
Yeah.
And this,
I just hope he's not injury prone like a lot of the past Bears receivers that we've drafted.
yeah, I think the biggest worry is that his route running isn't the greatest. According
Yeah.
to the athletic score, he has top elite speed, but he has very poor agility and a very poor vertical. So you're working with a very fast guy who
With
was still working on his footwork. But this
yeah.
is a guy, when he gets the ball, can make you miss, basically.
Yeah.
It's just getting him the ball is the problem right now.
Yeah. So
So
like I
you
said,
can create
expect a lot
room.
of screens.
Yep. And then Bears, honestly, after that third round, really kind of had like a slam dunk because in round 5, the next pick, they took Braxton Jones out of Southern Utah, offensive tackle for people that don't know. Here's the interesting thing about him and his athletic score. He was elite in all his dashes and 20 and 10-yard splits. He was elite in the 3-cone drill. He was elite in the board jump. He was poor in the I don't think really vertical as an offensive tackle, but he was the all big first team all Big Sky, an all FCS player. He was in a zone run scheme for 3 years, and he is 6'5" and 310 pounds. Carl, kind of, what were your thoughts on this one?
Um, I feel like he could be a day one starter.
Really?
We need people
Well, I
there.
mean, you do, yeah.
So
He had 11 starts as left tackle. He's played both left and right, but more left tackle.
mhm.
So, I mean,
I
he's good.
if he does well in training camp, I don't see why don't give him a chance. Have him start.
It is said, though, that he needs to improve his timing, his technique before he is ready to start. So, I mean, those are things you can obviously adjust. And
Yeah.
yeah. And then the next pick, this was probably, in my opinion, this is the most exciting after third round pick.
Hmm.
Dominique Robinson,
Yeah.
edge rusher out of Miami, Ohio. He was converted. He's a converted receiver. Comes in at 6'4", 253 pounds. He's athletic as hell, but he is still learning the position. But this is a guy who has a long, a tall, a high, ceiling. This
Yeah.
is a guy on his athletic score. He scored overall a 9.74. He
Oh,
was great in every metric in terms of speed and agility and explosion. His only thing that hurt him is his weight, which, I mean, he is only 253. But, this guy gives me those Micah Parson vibes a little bit.
yeah, a little bit.
Kind of what were
I'm
your
excited to
thoughts
see
on
what
that?
he does.
What were
You
your
said
thoughts?
is he an outside linebacker or an edge rusher?
She's an edge rusher.
Okay. Maybe get Robert Quinn to mentor him a little bit. Why not?
It does,
Uh,
it does say he needs to improve versus the run, but he has great pass rush instincts. But his run instincts have not been the greatest.
okay, that's fine. Hopefully he doesn't get to the second level, or the running back doesn't get to the second level due to the first line. But I was excited when we picked him too. I said I said in our mock draft that we needed someone to pair up with Roquan Smith, but it looks like they went with someone to pair up with Robert Quinn.
Hmm.
So I'm excited to see what he does. Um, maybe maybe see what he can do. He's a fifth round pick, so nothing guaranteed there. But you got to give all these guys a chance.
I feel like this guy is like a creative player. This guy's got a lot of potential, and if
Hmm.
you're able to unlock that potential, this guy can be something like this guy can be a future All Pro. At that,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he is, but this is a
Good.
guy who can bring a lot to the table if things go well for him.
I think even Mel Kiper or Todd McShay said that like he could be a Pro Bowler at some point in his career.
There's a lot of upside. This kid can this. It's going to be interesting to watch him.
Hmm.
So then, in the sixth round, the Bears went back to offensive line and they took off OT. Zach Thomas out of San Diego State, the 4-year starter, comes in at 6'4", 308 pounds. Basically, your typical blocking guy. In his athletic score, he scored an 8.97. He was elite in speed and agility. He had a good board jump, but a very bad vertical, and his bench wasn't the greatest as well. They said he's quick out of his stance as both a run and pass blocker. He plays with stubborn strength. He displays defenders, but he is a nimble mover, but he is non-explosive. Who lacks recovery skills. Carl, what were your thoughts on the Zachary Thomas pick?
I like that he's quick and wait, what'd you say again?
Nimble.
Yeah, he's nimble. So like I said for the other ones, you got to give these guys a chance. That's all. That's all. If you picked them, there's a reason you picked them. So Ryan Poles has an eye for offensive linemen. That's why he waited so long to take any lineman. He saw what he could get out of these guys at these picks. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
Next guy, very questionable pick. Tristan Ebner, running back out of Baylor in the sixth round. He's very versatile, but he's going to be the third or fourth
I
guy.
was thinking third back.
I mean, they did just get Darrington Evans, but Ebner is going to be a new offensive weapon. Basically, he can run routes out of the backfield and the slot. He can, you know,
Yeah.
he's probably not going to make the roster as a running back alone. So, kind of like a utility guy for the Bears.
Do you see how tall he is?
How tall is he again?
Yeah, how tall is he?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't think you said it.
I didn't say. Didn't say it in general.
Oh.
Tristan Ebner comes in. If I can find it. 5'11" and 215.
Oh, then yeah, put him in the slot. Fuck it. 5'11", yeah.
How
Put him
tall
in
did
the
you think
slot,
he was
run
going to
some
be? What did you
slants.
think he was like 5'2" or something?
No, I thought you were gonna say like 5'8", 5'9". But no, 5'11". Put him on the line. Put him on the slot.
This does seem like a guy who you can. Oh man, sorry. This seems like a
Bless you.
guy that you can plug in a play, like a trick play or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
very interesting pick by the Bears here. And then Bears went back to offensive line. They got Illinois native Doug Kramer,
I'm
um,
excited for this guy.
center, fits his own blocking scheme. He's a bit skinnier than most offensive linemen, but he has athleticism to pull blocks and reaches to cut off defenders. And he can anchor well against the pass rush. But he is quick, smart, and the type of grinder that is capable of having a multi-contract NFL career. For his athletic score, which is blurry, he was elite in speed. He was average in the cone drill, an elite board jump, and which is very interesting actually. So yeah, Carl, you already touched on it. You love this pick, Illinois guy.
Yeah. He seems like a dog. I think he's got that dog in him, man. I feel like he's making the roster for sure.
I think he's going to become a fan favorite. Obviously, played for the Fighting Illini of Illinois.
Have you seen that beard?
The beard?
Oh wait, no, that might be Zachary Thomas. My bad.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think.
But no, Kramer's got that dog mentality in him, though.
All right. Yeah, I think he's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And then the Bears took another offensive tackle, Ja'Tyre Carter, out of Southern. He was a 4-year starter with 37 starts at left tackle, 6'3", 311. He also has a good frame to move inside the guard position. He's strong at the point of attack with plenty of aggressiveness, but he can be a development pick. His scores weren't the greatest. His speed grade was good. His agility was poor. Explosion was good though. But in general, he was one of the lowest athletic graded Bears picks, Carl.
I'm just gonna go back to the polls thing where he has an eye for offensive talent or offensive line talent.
Yeah.
So if he saw something he liked in him, then I gotta trust him for right now. You just gotta go with what he's saying.
Carl has got the trust in. And then go to the seventh round. The Bears take Elijah Hicks, safety out of Cal, versatile defender who can play both parts of safety or line up as a cornerback. Possibly a guy who can start on special teams and work his way up into starting on defense. Very versatile. Not really much. There's not much information around him. He's hungry when he was around the ball, and he likes to force turnovers. Carl, you have anything about 7th round Elijah Hicks?
I gotta see him on the field in the Bears uni first.
Interesting. And then the final pick, I'm kind of pissed it took this long for the Bears to take a punter.
I wanted a punt god
out of San Diego State. I would have loved to have him. The Bears could have used him, but with their last pick, they go with Trenton Gill, NC State punter. He was a walk-on that became a 3-year starter. They have Ryan Winslow to replace Pat O'Donnell, but there can be a competition. Neither of them have a great leg, so maybe the Bears sign someone. But Gill was a first-team All-ACC as a senior. He averaged 45 yards per punt, and he was also a kickoff specialist. Carl, anything about the punter?
I miss Pat O'Donnell already.
Damn, really?
Ooh, I gotta see what this Trenton Gill does.
All right, and then overall, the Bears were giving an A. Their highest grade was an A- by NFL.com, and then their lowest rating was a C- by US Today Sports. And the reason why, and the reason why I didn't have a C- or they got a C-
is because of what the fans wanted.
They
They
didn't
said
take a quarter. They didn't take
they
a
should have
one
helped.
either.
They should have helped Fields' development. They made a mistake by taking defensemen, but you wonder if the defense will be on the field a lot in 2022, considering the way that things have gone for Fields. Now, I thought what also was interesting while I'm on this little spiel was that the Bears were one of the highest graded draft grades in NFL.com's grading. I
Yeah,
thought that was also very interesting.
fantastic.
So that is the Bears draft. Obviously, a lot of excitement. We don't know what's going to happen. I know a lot of people are upset that there wasn't a receiver taken. We'll see how it goes. I think it's also important to remember, Carl, that there's still free agents out there. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, Will Fuller. There's guys out there that you can sign. So
Oh, yeah.
I think that will be interesting. I think what also sucks is it's probably the last time we're going to talk about the Bears in a while.
Yeah, it is. It's
So
mainly gonna.
this basically becomes the NBA playoff and White Sox and Cubs show.
Yeah.
I guess starting next Tuesday.
We can talk about the Blackhawks next week. Talk about their season and what to hope for in the off season. If you're down, fans, let us know in the comments if you want to hear us talk about the Blackhawks.
Okay.
But that's gonna be it for us this episode. For Jack Thiel, I'm Carl Liza. That was the Shy City Boys podcast. And we'll see you next week.